The following is a fan-based discussion. All properties discussed are property of Toei Inc., Bandai, Hasbro, and Subaru Productions. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Tokucast Reviews, episode number 193. Marcus and Jacob here to discuss Blue Swat from the Metal Heroes series. Marcus.
It's our third to last Metal Hero because we're not doing Robotech or Cop Attack.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to start what we usually do.
Okay.
Let's start with the opening.
Okay.
I love this opening.
Do you now?
Yes. Something about it speaks to me.
Okay.
It reminds me of Jetman's ending theme. And I love that ending.
Yes. We have discussed this before.
Yes.
I thought this one was okay, but I also detested it, partially because of the show that it was attached to. In fact, mostly because of the show that it was attached to.
I want to talk about the first 23 episodes. 22.
Go ahead.
And then we'll get to the other half. I really like the first part of this show, up to episode 22. I like how grounded it was. I like how it was very, not as fantastical, no lasers, just like, no, we're just going to defeat the monster with bullet. And I really appreciated that. I love the martial arts aspect. My girl Sarah has like one of the most badass moments. And I think episode 22, when she's underground fighting those two monsters that they were having problems with initially. Mm-hmm. And she was just beating the shit out of them. Pure martial arts, just, going for the joints and everything. She became my girl at that point. I liked her enough. She's honestly probably the strongest on this team.
I would agree.
And she's just great. She's very talented, very skilled. I like Sig, and I liked him being an alien, putting basically a cryogenically frozen human's body. Mm. Sho was the leader. I do not know why.
I do not know why either, because he seems like the Yellow Ranger in the team.
Yes.
He seems like the youngest one.
The hothead.
Who is the hothead, who is the brat, who only cares about money, and for some reason people have to listen to him?
Yeah. I mean, I really liked how the vibe of those first 22 episodes. It was just, very sort of bare bones. A lot of the things, the aliens were invading people, them having to figure out, especially as some of the aliens kept jumping to other bodies over the first couple 22 episodes. Mm-hmm. I really appreciated that. Something about the vibe of this show really spoke to me. Mm. And then the show stopped being anywhere near good. And the reason for that is the show was popular with like older people. And I can see why. It really has, a very different vibe than something like Jan Person, for example. And then Gold Platinum gets introduced. They're just like, no, we're going to start doing this to kids because they're the ones who buy the things, Toei.
Bit of a Young Justice situation.
This show it didn't know what it wanted to do, and it got real bad real fast. I hate this show. And it's not even because it's just like I like the first 22. It reminds me of Jacka, in all honesty, where I like the beginning of it, and then something comes in and ruins it. And the ruining thing is Gold Platinum. That's when the show got trash.
You mean you didn't like when a gold man was just beamed in from the heavens and saved our heroes? I didn't like it either. I don't blame you. It was terrible. I think this is one of the worst shows we've ever had to watch for Tokucast. I didn't even like the first half. I thought the first half was awful. People tell me, by people I mean you, and of course what I have read online many places, that the show, it's like, oh, well, it wasn't really working with the older crowd, and then they pivoted to a younger audiences. I don't believe that.
It was working
with the older crowd. I don't believe that is true. I'm not saying you're lying. I'm not saying anyone who says that is lying. I'm just saying I don't believe that. What I think is you had a terrible show, and they were just throwing their hands in the air going, yeah, how do we make this work? And then they're like, I don't know, put this guy in it, change this, and then they just changed everything, and none of the decisions they made were good. That's what it feels like to me.
See, my thing is,
I thought the first half of this show, sure,
It was consistent.
It just felt too kiddie.
The first half?
Yeah.
All the murder, all the blood, all the shooting in the face?
That was like one episode.
That was a couple episodes.
It only felt like one.
Because in all honesty, the mood of that first half was really consistent. Even with, I'm blanking. I just said his name and I'm blanking on it. Shows like his rival from school. I really like those two episodes and the fact that they actually, had things build up over time with some things. And I really like Sig's son, sort of being the main bad for that first part.
I hated that.
I
hated that. It wasn't even his son.
But it was the body.
It was an alien possessing the body of the son of the dead person that he was possessing. To quote Dark Helmet, what does that make us? Absolutely nothing. You're not related to this person. Why are you trying to draw a connection there where none is?
I weirdly think it's just like, the memories of the body that he was in. Because the body wasn't dead. It was just cryogenically frozen after being in an accident. I think my favorite thing from a good portion of the beginning of this is, weirdly enough, because of DBZ Abridged.
Oh, God.
Everything is space. Space Flower, Space SWAT.
Space Australia.
Go Space Broncos. But that made me laugh every single time.
If this goes any further south, we're going to be in Space Mexico.
Space Mafia. I like the vibe. The vibe spoke to me.
Well, I'm glad it did. I'm glad something about this works for you.
I also really just like that the only thing that they had was cannon, missile, gun, and martial arts. That was the four things that this show was built on. And then it got... I don't even know if Hibiki is like an appropriate... Because this seems like it's honestly...
Hibiki is the closest comparison we have.
Yeah, it is.
It is the closest comparison we have.
It is.
Because it is well documented that the first half of that show was deemed too scary for children. They pivoted halfway through. They moved everything out of the forest and into the city. The tone got considerably lighter. It got considerably more, lighthearted. And it was all to the detriment of the entire show.
I really think that's what happened here. I know you might not like the first half as much as I did. But it's just I like the vibe. I like, just the emphasis on certain things. And then they just threw it off a cliff. And hope for the best.
Hopes were not enough, it seems.
No. This show did not know what it wanted to be. It just consistently got worse. And it became a lot less fun, at least for me. I like that down-to-earth vibe that it had. I like how it was very grounded, I think is the word I'm looking for. It's very grounded in its own mythos. And then it stopped.
I think the show has one of the worst first episodes I've ever seen. You talk about grounded, but when the first plot line that you throw at us that you are setting up for the entire show is invasion of the body snatchers, and it's like we are dealing with an alien invasion, and it's aliens coming to Earth, hiding amongst us, possessing bodies of the living to carry out their evil plans to do, something. And I think a part of it has to do with my own expectations. Mm-hmm. My expectations for what a grounded Toku would be don't involve invasion of the body snatchers, and it was something that my brain just couldn't get past. And again, he liked the first half. I did not. It's all art. It's purely subjective.
And we all disliked the end.
And we all disliked the second half. The two of us can agree on that, of course.
Mademoiselle Q. Who cared?
Not me.
It became so standard and so boring.
If I had to pick one thing I liked, it would be Sarah.
The girl.
Sarah was really good.
She was the girl. She was that girl.
Yes. My God, I hated Show so much. And Sig, I just found annoying. Part of me just wanted this to be the Sarah show about a one-woman squad of ass-kickery, and that would have been something I would have been on board for.
Isn't that the show that the mother from Gotchard was in from the 80s?
I don't know.
What was the name of that show? Hold on, I'm going to go to Gotchard real fast. Because I know his... Sukeiban Deka. That was the name of the show.
Oh, I know of it, yes.
Yes. We should do that eventually because it is tied into all of this.
True.
But
I'd be okay with that.
this should have just been Sarah's show. Especially all the things she came, coming from Los Angeles SWAT and then going off on her own and then getting found by Blue Research. And it's just...
They set up kind of an interesting thing of like, okay, here's like Blue Swat HQ. Here's our commanding officer. Here's this.
Everybody
immediately thrown out the window because Commander gets possessed by an alien and shoots up the place with 2 machine guns before dying in the most awkward way possible.
That first episode was wild.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I do like they did that, though, and the fact that they sort of tried to get back to that point, but they never actually did. And then it's just like, oh, wait, the humans are the bad guys. Here comes Gold Platinum. I've never seen a character more wasted. Never seen a show more wasted. And I think that's sort of the problem. If the show would have kept that vibe and been a lot more consistent from how it was for the first 22 and then went forward without introducing a queen for the most part and just making it really standard Toku, it became so much less fun. It became so much less, I guess, innovative for me.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, we're going to do something a little bit more bare bones. Even with the, invasion of the body snatchers, that's really the point of this. It, had a way to get there and to just go over what it was doing, and then Toei heavy-handed their hand all over this. And I think that's where the rant's going to come in. I'm real tired, and this, it hasn't happened in a while, but I'm real tired
to this.
Of Toei, Bandai, whomever coming in and just fucking with shit sometimes. Like, I understand it's their show, but sometimes you gotta let the show just be the show and not, we're gonna force Toei in here, because it doesn't work. That's why we got the second part of Go Busters, and not all of that worked. That's Bandai apparently almost pulled out an Abba Ranger because of Abba Killer just being
a good character,
being a great character,
being a well-written character,
but also just
anti-hero,
being evil. Like the dude, I think it's just because of the
fact he's not a good person.
But not
every character is someone you should have strived to be.
He's specifically a bad person.
Yeah, he's not a good person.
And
I think it works for the show.
Oh, it does, because it needed it. But this is just one of those things where Toei comes in.
No, everyone must be role model.
It still didn't really even work for him. He's still, what the hell? As we saw in
the strongest warrior in hell.
The strongest warrior in hell. But it's just
he's in hell.
Toei,
say more.
Toei comes in and goes, not on my watch. See, Jeremy fell.
Even Jeremy.
It's just, it's so frustrating seeing this happen. Just like, y'all had something and then you ruined it. You shat and pissed all over it.
You patented it, you packaged it, you slapped it on a plastic lunchbox, and now you want to sell it.
Tired of it.
It is their show. They're the ones paying for it. They have the right to do with it whatever they want. But as we see continuing to this day throughout various entertainment industries, the money is just sometimes in the wrong place. And the wrong people who don't understand creativity are the ones making the decisions.
Which is why I'm sort of happy that Shirakura is, although he's not in charge with Goes Usual like he was for the past 5 years, on every other Sentai, just like, I had this thing that I wanted to do. And the only thing that really happened, like sort of a little bit out of his control, I should say, would be, and this is just pure conjecture just based on what I've known, was Stacy. Because he wasn't supposed to stick around.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but his character got super popular, so he did. Just like Baron and Gaim. But really for the betterment of Zenkaiger. This show is not worth it. And I think this has started the point.
I think it's worse than Winspector.
I don't.
I think it's worse than Exceed Draft. I think it's worse than those.
Winspector came in and just never got there for me. This one had it, and I think that actually makes it worse, where the fall off is that much worse, so it puts it under Winspector at the end of the day.
I'm wondering if I hate this one more than Amazon's.
That is a you thing.
I'm wondering if I do. I know it's very much a me thing, of course, but I'm wondering if I do. Because Amazon's at least was consistent. I would say it was at least consistent.
Very consistent.
And then this one
wasn't.
Just something was wrong from the word go.
Did I hate this one as much as Gotchard? Yeah. Gotchard was already bad from the beginning. This just, set me open to something that's like, oh, I like this.
I think Gotchard was better than this. But I also didn't like Gotchard.
No. Gab, on the other hand. But, yeah, this is a show that certainly exists in the year of 1994. Yeah, this was real bad. Not a good time. Did not enjoy it. And our next metal hero is going to end up being the one that gets adapted into Big Bad Beetleborgs.
Yep.
I'm actually really excited to see that. What's our next show?
Good question. The next one we have on the schedule is Ultraman Ace.
Oh my god, we're doing Ace next. Yay! Wait, was that after Jack? Oh my god. Why does it... No, I think it's just because of the fact that I'm thinking of Taro.
No, Taro's further down. We have Taro, Leo 80, Powered, Zaearth, a bunch of others.
Oh, good lord. Not Zaearth. Alright, I guess we're doing Ultraman Ace next. I'm actually sort of excited to see that show because from all the clips that I've seen, Jesus Christ. What about violence? Do you like violence? I've heard that was violence.
I do. But did you watch Blue Swat?
If you do.
Did you subject yourself?
I'm sorry. I apologize on our behalf. Not on Toei.
Why on our behalf? We didn't make it.
I know.
We didn't tell anyone to watch it.
This is just one of those shows. And it's weird because I think this also came out around the same time as they were doing the Hokkaido movie. I think that was the year after this. Year or two. AKA, I'm going to go make Garo after this. And that's what he did. We're also getting a new Garo movie.
Yep. Anniversary movie.
Which is for the grandfather.
It's okay with me.
Yeah. Too bad this actor passed away a couple years ago.
Oh.
Yeah. But Blue Swat's over. Thank God. Don't forget to join us all the things. We'll see you next time. We just ended that on like the most note. But that's what the show did.
It's an appropriate show to do it on.
The show did it to me. Don't forget to join us all the things. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for watching.